This week's parasha by Yeshev takes up the fascinating story of Yosef, Joseph, and his brothers. And it was a situation of tremendous mistakes which could have led to the downfall of the Jewish people while they were in the process of formation. Essentially, the brothers formed a tremendous hatred for the younger brother Joseph, and they conspired against him, and ultimately they wound up selling him as a slave into Egypt, thinking that that would put an end to him. There were many causes for this hatred, but it seems clear from the text itself, there's no doubt about it, that Yaakov, as great as he was, played a leading role in bringing this about. And that was by demonstrating favoritism. He showed a special love for Yosef, and he got him that coat of many colors. And this was a major factor in bringing out the envy of the brothers. It wasn't the only factor, because then Yosef too kind of misbehaved in terms of telling the brothers about the dreams, all of which they did not regard as prophecy, and all of which depicted Yosef as assuming a leadership role over them. So it's a classic case of one mistake leading to another mistake. They didn't really grasp the true character of Yosef. He was brash, he was young, and he acted in a manner which did create a certain false impression. But the key to everything is the favoritism of Yaakov. And the rabbis say we learn from this that a parent should not ever play favorites, and a teacher, a rabbi, should not play favorites with the students. And the question, of course, arises, this is a lesson that everybody can understand. Why wouldn't Yaakov understand that? He was a great person. He was on the level of prophecy. What motivated him to do this? Wasn't he concerned about the reaction of the brothers? In my opinion, his mistake was that he overestimated the level of his sons. People on a very high level don't operate according to the knee-jerk reactions. They're able to cope with their emotions. Actually, Rabbi Soloveitchik tells a story that when he was young and when he was in yeshiva, there was another student in the class that was regarded as being smarter than him, and he felt a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, until one day his father took him aside and said, you know that this is a very lowly, very degrading kind of an attribute, to be jealous. That motivated him to work on himself. He worked on himself and he overcame it, and he says, to this day I have nothing but joy at the successes of others. And I think that was the mistake that Yaakov made. He regarded all of his sons as being great Torah scholars, being on a very high level, and he knew that this might trouble them, but he wanted to give them the opportunity to overcome that emotion, to recognize that even though Yosef was the younger brother, but still he was destined to be the leader because of his superior qualities and his superior wisdom. We learn a very important lesson from this. Do not overestimate people when you're dealing with certain very, very powerful emotions. It may seem to you that certain gestures towards others will not arouse bad feelings in other people's emotions. It's very, very hard to calculate. Or you may think, well, they might bother them a little bit, but they'll get over it. Don't be involved in the game of trying to calculate the power of other people's emotions. As a rule, be very, very sensitive and be very, very careful. And do whatever you can do to retain a feeling of equality. Don't single out one person for special favors, because no matter how powerful your desire may be, you may be bringing about negative consequences, and you might live to regret it.